Hello, everybody. I'm Andrei, and I work for JetBrains as a Senior Vice President of Investments, Research, and Education. Welcome to Regionals. Great things happen when great minds come together. JetBrains wants to seek out great minds all across the globe, support their initiatives, and work together to create great things that will make the world a better place. That's why JetBrains is proud to be a Global Tools sponsor of the ICPC. There are already many great minds working at JetBrains, and together we have created some amazing things, like the Kotlin programming language, for example. It keeps on growing and growing in popularity. In 2017, Google began officially supporting Kotlin as a language for writing Android applications. We have also created professional development tools like Cline for C++ programmers, IntelliJ IDEA for Java, PyCharm for Python, and also educational tools that help people learn and teach programming. The regionals are the biggest contest in the ICPC calendar. Thousands of talented people all over the world team up to solve complex real-world challenges. These contests are the proving ground for future champions. But even if you don't make it through to the finals, the experience of competing in the regionals and the new friends you'll make along the way are priceless. Enjoy the ride. Best of luck to everyone.
P3 was the third easiest problem of the set, being an easy, and we got around 1069 teams who solved it. Again, this problem was prepared by Ajinkya, proposed by Ajinkya. And Ajinkya would, one more thing around this problem. So until the last day, we had some version of this problem, but then Kevin started testing it and he found out that the greedy solution is wrong. So the good that we found out before the round. So we had to change the cost function for the merging from max x1 comma x2 to x1 plus x2. So that was the twist. We were not able to prove it, and later we also found a counter case where the greedy solution fails. But yeah, we were able to catch it before the round and we fixed the data. And I think now Ajinkya can take up the problem for explanation.
Yeah. Hi. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So yeah. Before we go into the solution, let me first explain the problem very briefly. So in this problem, we were given n arrays, and what we had to do was we had to form a single sorted array out of them. And we were allowed to perform two different operations. The first one was to break any of the arrays at any given point, such that we now have two non-empty different arrays. And the second operation was to merge any of the two available arrays. And we merge it in such a way that the elements of the two arrays can interleave among themselves, but the individual order of the arrays, of the elements in the arrays, cannot change. And each of these operations had a cost function associated with it. So yeah, the basic aim was to finally get a single sorted array. And it's easy to see that we can always form a single sorted array using these two operations. And one of the most obvious ways is to just keep on breaking the array until we have single elements, and then just start merging them one by one. But anyway, the problem wanted us to solve this with the minimum cost. So yeah, to solve that problem, we required a lot of simple, but many small greedy insights. So yeah, let's just look at them one by one. So the first observation here was that we could do all the splits, like all the breaks before all the merges. And doing this would not add any additional cost to our overall process. So yeah, it's quite easy to see that doing all the splits first and then all the merges later does not affect the total cost. And this can be more seen in a better way once we look at how we are going to merge all the arrays. So yeah, can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so once we have decided that we will do all the splits before the merges, let's look at how we are going to break the arrays. So how are we going to split them? So one of the obvious things is that we will anyway need to break the array at every point whenever an AI is greater than its next element, that is AI plus 1. So whenever this happens, we will have to break it. Otherwise, we won't be able to form a single array because the second operation won't help us do this. So this break is always necessary. And it can be seen also easy to notice that no additional breaks are necessary. Again, this is more obvious when we look at how we are going to merge the arrays. But yeah, the main observation was that we are going to break at every point whenever the next element is smaller than a given element. And yeah, once we have decided that where we are going to split the array, the next point is how we are going to split it, because the break function also had an associated cost with it. So the cost for the break function was the minimum of the two broken parts of the array. So to do that, again, we can do this greedily. So suppose we had the array A and we decided from our previous observation that we are going to break it into n different parts like A1, A2, and up to AN. So we can always try to cut the leftmost or the rightmost AI, whichever is smaller. And we can see that by doing this, at the end, whatever remains will be the maximum AI. And so the cost for this overall splitting would be the size of the array A minus the maximum AI in that array. And again, it is easy to see that this is the best possible cost because yeah, we cannot really get anything better than this. So yeah, let's move on to the next part. Yeah, so we are done with all the splits. So the next part is to actually merge those arrays. And yeah, by looking at how we are going to merge this, it will also be clearer as to why some of the assumptions that we made previously make sense now. So when we are going to merge the arrays, we have already broken down the arrays into say increasing arrays now. So we can just merge them one by one so that we finally have one single sorted array. And how are we going to do this? The cost function for this was the sum of the arrays that are going to be merged. And yeah, as Vichitra said earlier, this cost function was initially something else at the beginning, but we decided to go with this because yeah, this is quite a standard cost function actually, and we are going to see how in some time. But yeah, let's try to see why this works. So what we are going to do is we are going to choose the two smallest arrays available at any time and merge them. And we keep on doing this until we finally have a single sorted array. So why does this work? So yeah, if we are going to merge some small array AI ci times, then it is going to contribute ci times the size of AI to the total cost. And if we imagine this whole process to be like a tree, then all the AIs, the split arrays, are leaves in this merging tree. And ci will be the depth of those leaves in this tree. So what we want to do is we want to rearrange the leaves in whichever way we want such that the total cost is minimized. And to do that, we would always want the smallest AIs to be together and in the deepest leaves of this tree, so that if whatever CI is used, so the maximum CI is used for the smallest AI. So that is what we would want to do. So at every point, we would try to keep the smaller AIs as deep as possible in this merging tree. So yeah, can we move on to the next slide, please? So yeah, if we look at this, so what we want is we always want the shortest arrays to be as deep as possible. And with repeating this argument again and again, we can see why this also works. And as I said before, this is quite a standard problem. This proof basically also proves why the Huffman coding works. So yeah, this was basically the expected solution. So at every point, we try to find the two smallest arrays that we have and then merge them. And how do we implement it? We can use a priority queue for that. So just choose two of the smallest arrays from priority queue and then merge them and then again insert it back. So the overall complexity for this part would be S log S as stated here, where S is the sum of lengths of all the arrays. So yeah, basically that was it. So combining all of this, we finally get the optimal answer that we want.